Hello, this is Skyler again. Just wanted to welcome you to week 2 of my Gilman Scholarship video log. Um, Today I'm going to be covering how orientation went and what we did, along with some pre-orientation details that sort of tie into the orientation process. So before our arrival in England, Lancaster University had us go through this sort of registration process where we went over some personal information, activated our student accounts, uploaded proof of our identities, and got a picture for our student IDs that we're going to use when we got onto campus. In addition to that, we had to do like a bunch of training courses. One of them covered the basics of studying in the UK and at Lancaster University, while another one was more sensitivity training that informed international students such as ourselves of some UK laws and expectations, especially with regard to how you treat other people here in the United Kingdom. This is something that I think you should probably consider if you're going abroad. While the UK may allow for a lot of freedom of speech and expression that's kind of similar to the United States, other countries might not be so open. So before you travel or go anywhere, just consider what rights you do and don't have in that country and compare them to the ones that you have here in the US, and evaluate whether or not traveling to that country would be safe or would at least make sure that it can meet all of your needs. This process of getting documentation was kind of mirrored by the Gilman Scholarship. They had us confirm of account details before leaving, providing a proof of citizenship, proof of acceptance at the university, transcripts, emergency contact information, and we signed up for a few different programs. The first one was the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. This allowed you to get warnings from the U.S. Embassy, and I'd kind of suggest it for anyone going abroad. You just search up Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, and then it'll just you'll go through this process where you fill out information on where you're going, and then it will link you to alert messages that are sent through the nearest U.S. Embassy. This can make sure that you aren't where things are getting dicey in your host country. It's not like a super big deal here in the UK, but they have informed me of some different riots and protests that have been happening about the conflict in Palestine. And so, you don't really want to get into those sorts of situations while you're abroad, especially because you're not really in the best of circumstances to navigate your way through sort of social upheaval. Once at Lancaster, I had to finish the registration process and get my student ID, and then I also needed to confirm my arrival through the Gilman Scholarship portal. While the specifics of my 3-day orientation are not very important, some of the concepts that we covered I think are valuable to consider before you go abroad. First is healthcare. I think it's important that you do everything you can to understand where and how you might be able to receive healthcare and prescriptions in your host country. This is just in case stuff happens. You don't really want to be stuck in a bind or with like a broken leg or something and have no idea what to do. This is the same is true about understanding your transport options. You're probably not traveling with a car, and it's unlikely that you'll want to buy one, though I guess you might. It's affordable. So you might need to understand like what sort of mass transit options you have available and where you could get food items or everyday household items or personal necessities and the like. Another important thing to consider is communication. There are some plans that you can use for international calls from the US, but those could be prohibitively expensive. So what I would suggest doing is looking up what kind of phone plan options you might have in the country you're going to or from the US through your carrier, and considering the cost and benefits of using any of those. I'd be sure to have a plan to get your phone up and working within like 72 hours or so, just to make sure that you can contact any services you need to while you're in the country, and also make sure that you know what the emergency service number is for your country, because like in the UK it's 999, whereas in the US it's 911. I'm sure all sorts of other places have random numbers. I know there's the Pan-European one, which is like 211 or something. So just be sure you know how to get a hold of emergency services if you need to. And then, yeah, I think that's most of what I mean, there's probably other stuff, and you can let me know in the comments below if you've studied abroad or you've just gone abroad before, what other things you might think that it would be important to check on before you leave. Outside of that, you can look forward to me doing a room tour next week. I had to change rooms just yesterday, so I would have done one this week, but my room is not put together because now I'm sharing one with my wife instead of us having two separate rooms, which is great, but we gotta put it all together, and that's gonna be terrible. Anyways, bye.